Thank you for putting out such a great event. How many people are from Houston? Most people? Awesome. Without further ado, let's have these guys come up, and I will actually have them introduce themselves because they do it way better than I can do it. So.
We're here at TMCX Innovation Place. I don't know what it's called. Actually, it looks like a pretty cool building. It's mostly focused on healthcare, but we're having the Plug and Play Innovation Week here. So today is actually the Energy and Sustainability track. They asked me for some reason to moderate one of their panels with Exxon, Phillips 66, Worley Parsons, and somebody else. Chevron? Yeah, Chevron. So we're just going to be asking questions about, what do they do? It's mostly the corporate venture capital guys. What does their job look like? What kind of technology are they interested in? What kind of startups are they looking to invest in? And we're going to talk kind of just macro about just the industry as a whole, specifically the oil and gas, just tech space. So it should be a good time. Maybe take some questions from the audience if we have time. This is a much bigger crowd than last year, so no pressure. Hopefully we do well.
We are spraying to our destination, and then on top of that, so much is happening in the energy sector, because it's not just about oil and gas, but it's about renewables and digital technology. And so if you want to continue to wear the crown within the energy capital of the world, which means you have to diversify within the energy sector, you can only do that by establishing that integrated, robust ecosystem. That's our goal, that's our aim, and they're doing some amazing things. If there is any city that ought to be leading the way when it comes to startups, technology, and innovation, it ought to be the city of Houston. We're excited. Do I sound excited? Well, I am.
So it's my understanding that each of you is responsible for kind of scouting and finding and evaluating and then integrating different emerging technologies into each one of your organizations. So let's talk a little bit about what types of technologies, whether it's in oil and gas or just energy as a whole or sustainability, what kind of technologies are you guys kind of actively looking at currently?
As we think back, technology and innovation really meant to us, how do we get better at what we do as a business? And so I think back all the way to World War II when we drove high octane fuel technology to give us a competitive advantage in World War II for the Allies, right all the way through to the invention of polyethylene, high density polyethylene, polypropylene, and
one of the things you look at is it's not, the technology itself is not what's going to make you win or lose, it's what you do with it. And so that's where I think the looking at it and envisioning, one, is there something there, and two, like, is this gonna help with the affordability, reliability, and the lower environmental impact? I think that's the game.
Where we learned the most and where we really got the value is once you put those tools in the hands of the operators, the things that they now tell us that they can do massively outweighed the number of value drivers that we thought really existed for that activity as we took that downward approach with the technology. So putting the technology in the hands of the operators really paid dividends. And what we find is we do that across the business. It's not just in operations, but when you work with our traders and we give them a solution or a trial solution of sorts, they can tell us, look, if it was this way or that way, it could be 10 times better, and that's where we really get the value. So it's that iterative approach between management setting a strategy, the team that's responsible putting the tools in the ground, executing the project, and then taking that feedback so that you can make that solution better as you continue to progress.
Some of the large Silicon Valley firms have come to various oil and gas conferences and made some comments that have upset a lot of people. They have essentially come in and said that you guys don't necessarily know what you're doing with technology, and we're going to come in and solve all your problems. But yet, time and time again, many of those initiatives have failed, regardless of how much money they've thrown at the problem. Why do you feel like that's the case?
It would be narrow-minded of us, the industry, to believe we can do it ourselves.
It's the marriage of the tech and the domain expertise, and to be honest, the smart companies figure this out on either side. Arrogance is not going to come to the solutions in the right way.
People didn't understand that we're coming from the outside of the business, just how big our business is and what at scale means for us.
The partnership means that we bring both value to the table, and that's just an open listening. I love the different perspectives, but when perspectives turn into hard biases on either side, really nothing gets done. So I think it's just, you know, a bit of growing pains, a bit of we can do this together, but everybody's going to have to just, you know, calm down the rhetoric and connect with it.
As a startup founder myself, and having worked with some of those organizations, what advice do you have to give to some of these startup founders for working with you guys and making that process painless, and maybe even kind of provide maybe some of the requirements of what you're looking for, either in the technology, the stage, the management team, things like that?
Don't maybe presuppose that you know how we will find value, but tell us what you have. Tell us how it fits in the context, so we want to understand what you think about your competition. Don't believe that you can solve the enterprise problems today.
We'll try and have an open dialogue about what our needs are, and having that back and forth about you know, what is it that you can bring to solve problems that we have is kind of key. It's not unusual for people in startups to pivot 2, 3, 4 times before they find the actual market or the highest value use of their idea. And it's not unusual for us to do that as a big company or when we're working with startups.
You guys, we got really good feedback on the panel. Each one of the panelists was great. You know, I asked just very high-level questions. They were able to give some great responses. We had some good questions from the audience. So I love what Plug and Play is doing, and I love that they're trying to facilitate more partnerships between Silicon Valley and the oil and gas industry, the energy industry as a whole, and really trying to accelerate that disruption and innovation in this space. And so we're super excited to see if they can plant their roots here. Would very much love to be a part of more events in the future and collaborate with those guys. So hats off to them for putting on such a great event, and thanks for inviting me. So.